Hi, Aquarius. I hope you guys are doing great today. Let's get right into your general messages for the beginning of December. I'm going to be breaking out a bunch of different spreads. I'll timestamp in chapters at the bottom of the video for your ease. Also, I did a separate video on the full solar eclipse. Check that out if you're interested. It's a long video, but I do chapter it out if you want to just check it for your various signs, but also for the information in the beginning, I think would be helpful for everyone because this is a very profound time. All right, so let's get into things. But this is the solar eclipse is going to be happening in your 11th house, right? Now, when I say the 11th house, it's because it's happening in Sagittarius and Aquarius. You are 11 houses away from Sag, right? So that's the energy that you're experiencing having to do with this eclipse is 11 houses away. So if we put Sagittarius in the first house, right? So I know that gets confusing for a lot of you. That is the best way to handle it when we're talking about doing general messages here on YouTube. There's nothing like understanding your own chart. So you could certainly try any free birth chart calculator. Or listen to me. I think I am running a special this month for the holidays for report only. My reports run anywhere from they usually run around 60 pages. And I know that sounds really long. It's truly a book of self. I did write all of your different transits and everything that that you need to know about yourself in order to be the best version of yourself, right? I like to give very full explanations so you don't have any questions. You could refer to it. All right, so what do we have here? We have Here and Now, Breathe, and TikTok. Alchemy, Beauty, Home. Interesting that we have home because Uranus is sitting in your 4th house of home. But let's just talk about the Sagittarius energy in the 11th house. 11th house has to do with friends. It has to do with your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan. It has to do with your salary, your goals, your gains. It also has to do with the 11th house is also the house where we have a very strong urge to become more than who we are right now. Really advance ourselves, right? And feeling this, and because it's Sagittarius is in there, this very strong belief system, right? So some of you may be very dug into a particular belief system and feel that that's like fundamentally what's necessary for you to be able to move forward in the way that you would like, right? But there's this idea of you holding very tight to belief system now because it's the house of friends, happens to also be your home, because your home is the 11th house. You may be finding right now that you're needing to release a particular belief system or an ideology or any sort of like dogma that might be getting in the way between you and your friends right now. And anything having to do with, how you want to roll your life out over the next few years. There's needs to be some sort of adjustment and some sort of release in the way that you've been thinking something needs to be. Okay. So that's just sort of the energy of the solar eclipse. So whatever's on the other side of this is actually going to be really good. This is not all challenging energy, guys. It's not all challenging. The fact that we have this new moon in the 11th house is going to be sextiling Saturn, which is in your 1st house of self. This is a very grounding influence on this particular eclipse. It's going to reduce the unsettling effect of that Uranus energy, which is going to be hitting. First of all, you guys are ruled by Uranus, but you have Uranus in your 4th house. So there's going to be this, because Saturn is squaring Uranus, it's causing a feeling of unsettlement in all of us. But this particular sextile, the moon is a motion sextile to Saturn in your 1st, it's going to help give patience, perseverance, very strong stick-to-itness to whatever it is that you're trying to work out. This is a great eclipse, honestly, guys, to meet your goals, complete serious and difficult tasks. And for you guys, I feel like it's going to be hitting many areas in your life because that Saturn energy is in your 1st house and it's sextiling this particular solar eclipse. So that is really good there. The only thing that I feel like is going to be look, release is never easy when it has to do with your belief system. But I actually think the larger challenge here is going to be Saturn squaring Uranus. Now, the whole month they're going to be dancing between like 2-3 degrees apart, and then down to 1 degree. On December 24th, they're going to be exact. So Saturn is in your first house and Uranus is in your fourth house. So that first house of self, fourth house of home, has to do with early childhood, early family, your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, secure. It has to do with mother or dominant parent. Maybe if you never really knew your mother, whoever the dominant parent was. The fourth house, the shake-up energy, this Uranus energy, can be a real sit down with yourself, though, Aquarius, looking at your inner base of operations, looking at who you are in private, and really looking at the root of your being. Which, and this is not surprising to me. I'm sorry, my throat chakra is closing. This is not surprising to me during a month of a solar eclipse, but I have to tell you, I think this is going to be really positive, right? But that Saturn and Uranus, what happens is it brings unexpected setbacks and restrictive change, right? And that Saturn is in your first house of self. So, and because the fourth house has to do with your ability to feel grounded, to feel comfortable within yourself, to feel comfortable with where you're at in your life. So, it can be a little more global in that way for you, right? Because this energy makes it harder to make the kind of changes that you want. It's going to be a very frustrating, intense time. Absolutely. If you stay open, though, open-minded, patient, flexible, what seems at first to be a challenge can easily be turned into an opportunity to rid yourself of any sort of negative, restrictive, or limiting things in your life, and including your sense of self, including the way you think you have to be, anything like that, right? So I see this ultimately being actually a really good thing. To be honest, I really kind of feel like for the air signs in general, as well as Capricorn, but I like this energy for you. So we have here and now, breathe, and TikTok. So obviously it's like stay in the moment, just stay in the moment and breathe, even though you're very, very aware of the time. Some of you may be like, I have to get into that relationship. I have to figure out my career. I have to do this, this, and this. The answer is to just stop and sort of just let everything be, especially this month. And then Venus is going to be going retrograde in the middle of December. We'll address that in the next video, all the way through for 40 days and 40 nights. Venus is going to be retrograde in Capricorn until the end of January. So, when it comes to money, when it comes to relationship, there is going to be an energy of stagnation. Don't get tripped up on that. Just don't. It's going to pass. Trust me, it's going to pass. We have alchemy. We have beauty, blending beauty with home. Blending beauty. Oh, see, I really feel like for a lot of Aquarians, yeah, okay, it might have to do with home. Maybe there's some sort of shakeup going on in your home. Okay, or something to do with mother, could be that. But I really feel with the alchemy, beauty, and the home energy, I'm feeling more with the beauty in the center is really about, on a very interpersonal and on a very introspective level, for you guys to get in touch with appreciating the best parts of who you are and what you bring to the table to everyone in your life, whether it's relationships, friendships, your family. Highlight the beautiful parts of yourself right now, and create because I'm feeling like a very vulnerable energy, a very like feet off the ground. Even if you're feeling like things are pretty okay on like a Monday through Friday kind of thing, there is this sort of sub narrative that I'm feeling in your energy where you're feeling very nervous about something. So they're nervous about getting a job, or nervous about a relationship, or nervous about what's going to end up happening. There's like this big question mark, and it's like very unsettling to you. So do whatever you have to do to sort of bring it back down. So this could, again, have to do with anything regarding the home, anything like that. But there's got to be, alchemy is always about blending. And we're talking about blending the beauty with security. And what is beauty? Obviously, it's very subjective, but it's something that you appreciate. So mixing appreciation with whatever you appreciate, that's going to help to incite a stronger foundation in your life. And you're being asked to reevaluate your priorities to do something different, and don't be afraid to say no to something. So the no could have to do with, moving, buying a home, selling a home, doing work around the home, saying no to that person that you live with, saying no to mother or the dominant parent, or you saying no to yourself when it comes to where you might be limiting yourself, right? Because that sacrificial energy, right, which I'm calling it because it's the South Node in Sagittarius, which is where we're needing to release something in the solar eclipse in that 11th house. What I hope for you is that what you're releasing is where you have limiting beliefs about what you're capable of doing and being in this lifetime, what you're capable of bringing to yourself as far as your salary goes and your goals and gains, where you're limiting yourself in your friendships, releasing where it is that you're not, don't allow that to be an issue anymore. Just don't allow it. And reevaluate your priorities. 11th house has a lot to do with priorities, because how could you not have priorities when you're talking about, like, what's my 5-year plan or 10-year plan, right? Absolutely. So that's what I have for this first spread. Now let's do a general read for, I'll connect it to relationship, career, maybe a family situation. And then I'll go on to complicated relationships. I'll do a quick spread for those of you who are single and in separation. Okay. 2 of Pentacles. Okay. Needing to negotiate something. Okay, I see things shifting in a good direction here. So we have the 2 of Pentacles that's being clarified by the 8 of Swords in reverse and the Magician. So Magician is another card that indicates alchemy, but more specifically, it's an alchemical energy of Mercury, right? Because the Magician is Mercury, which rules Gemini and Virgo. So Gemini is all about communicating, and Virgo is the problem-solving energy. So there could be a lot of communicating. They could be communicating about your health, I mean, obviously, whatever, but because that's Virgo energy is the landlord of the 6th house. But I feel like the negotiating, which is this 2 of Pentacles, is happening via communication to problem solve, recognizing in this 8 of Swords reverse energy, though, is all about release and some sort of new hope and feeling free from something. So there is this kind of, I feel like some of you are sort of in this situation where you're needing to release something. You're sort of 2 minds about it, right? Because something with the Ace of Cups in reverse, you feel very like let down, very disappointed. You might even be feeling depressed over a relationship, over a job not working out, over some sort of housing situation that you've been embroiled in, or some sort of family situation, right? But really just wanting this idea of feeling, you just want to release yourself from it, but you may be not sure, right? Exactly what to do. So the Magician would indicate some sort of communication to problem solve. Then we have the 8, which is all about hard work and mastery, and that's being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. So this is about throwing yourself, for some of you, it's throwing yourself into work. If you're having a lot of issue with relationship or a family situation, whatever it is, to do what Aquarians do very well is to throw yourself into something else for now. It's not a long-term thing, but for now, focus on mastering a skill set and focus on just really taking care of your body, taking care of your finances, and just being all about that. A lot of you are going to be in that space, right? To sort of divert yourself. Others of you, right, we're talking about this discussion to problem solve what's necessary in order to make something work, because the Queen of Pentacles is also a marriage card. This is also indicating financial management. It could be by yourself or within a relationship. Queen of Pentacles is also an energy of fertility and the ability to grow in something. So what's needed in order to grow in something? So it depends on what else is going on in your chart. So we have the Seven of Swords, which is about dishonesty and selfish behavior having to do with this Two of Cups energy. So there could have been some sort of conversation that you had with someone and you ended up, you was something about them, either you weren't trusting them as the words were coming out of their mouth, or you came to understand that somebody was maybe blowing smoke up you behind, whatever it is. Because the Seven of Swords is about, it could be literally lying, but it could also be selfishness. It could be somebody who doesn't respect boundaries. But the Seven of Swords could also be, because it's a moon in Aquarius energy, emotions not being revealed according to what's really being felt. Because the moon in Aquarius, moon is emotions, and Aquarius, you guys are about unique, out of the box, different than what I'm showing you, right? That is the Aquarius energy. So there could be this where you're sort of wearing a mask as you engage in some sort of conversation that you really know is not going to be able to grow. Because the Three of Pentacles is very much about some Mars and Capricorn energy. It's very much about collaborating, coming together, and something being successful. So there could be some sort of conversation where, it could be something like, no, we really wanted you for the job, but da 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 da. Oh, I really want to be in that relationship with you, but, and right, and this could be you towards somebody, somebody towards you, that kind of energy. Now we have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is definitely part of strength, right? Indicative of there being some sort of history here, right? So when we have the Nine of Wands clarified by the Fool, this does mean that you still have fire in your belly and you still have perseverance to see something through in a situation or with a relationship. But right now you're in a space of feeling defensive. You just want to make sure that you don't stay in any kind of negative mindset, because if you don't, and you could stay balanced, you don't want to go into the Ten of Wands, right? Stay in the Nine of Wands, hold it together. If you could stay balanced, your efforts are going to be met with success, right? And then the fact that it's being clarified by the Fool indicates to me that in order for something to be successful here, you're going to need to try a different approach. So some of you may be realizing, for some of you, if something didn't work out here, that relationship, that job, whatever it was, that you felt like you really couldn't build in or on, you not giving up here. Some of you may be just getting a different job, looking into getting into another relationship, right? Others of you are going to be, no, I still want to be in this. Let's try a different strategy, but there's going to be delay. The Sun is still positive, whether she's upside down, right side up, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. She's still positive. But in the reverse, this tells me you might be struggling with a little bit of depression and some delay about moving forward in a particular way. So if this has to do with you still having a lot of interest in working something differently, there might be just some delay in being able to get that new job, or having a hard time getting into that new relationship, whatever it is. If it's those of you who are dealing with, this could just be a really trippy energy in relationship, honestly. And this could be you with the Nine of Wands, you working through the fact that somebody does not respect your boundaries. Somebody was showing up really in a very, very selfish way, and you just wanting liberation from that, focusing on your work, but then a communication coming in to do things differently. Then you're feeling just let down and disappointed, right? In that ability to come together, to build that relationship, to be successful in that job, whatever it is, because there was a lack of support. And some of you are going to be kind of in this weird space of waiting right now. And again, this is only for, this very brief time period, but that's what I'm getting as far as like, kind of like a general lay of the land. So we have, we have this Ace of Cups in reverse, again, being let down, feeling depressed, disappointed, working with the Nine of Wands, but you're still very interested in something and you're trying to negotiate that you feel a sense of lack in something, right? Each pentacle is a path. So it's like, should I, shouldn't I? What do I do? Where do I feel the greatest sense of lack? Which pentacle should I put down? And there being the sense of delay, right? With the Sun energy here. There's got to be communication about how you guys can grow, and dishonesty and the ability to come together to grow. Like, where I feel like there was some sort of dishonesty or some sort of selfish behavior, some sort of disrespect. But with the Two of Cups, I feel like there's somebody is trying to rectify something. But whatever they're trying to rectify, it's not going to manifest right now. It's not that relationship, that family situation, whatever that situation is at work. Not yet, not yet. And that makes sense to me because in the oracles, we got breathe, right? Here and now. Stay in the moment. Let the energy roll out. Let the energy roll out. Remember, the solar eclipse is going to be impacting us until April. Okay. So the seed of something is going to be planted right this week. And then it's going to be rolling out a different way over the next 6 months. The combination of that partial lunar eclipse and this full solar eclipse. So expect changes in your 5-year plan, 10-year plan with your friends, your living situation, things changing there. So let's pull a Celtic cross spread for those of you in complicated relationship. Hierophant in reverse. Okay, well, I mean, the Hierophant is the marriage cards, and we have it in reverse. So obviously this can mean divorce. This could mean, it doesn't have to be even to that extreme. It could certainly be, maybe you guys aren't married, but it could be an extreme lack of agreement as far as belief system as well, and how you think things are supposed to kind of roll out, right? Where you're not having a meeting of the minds, or because in numerology, the Hierophant is temperance, and temperance is having a meeting of the mind and being very empathetic. But it's also, the Hierophant is also this idea of expectations and needing to conform to a certain way of being. And when we have reverse, it could be somebody just not being able to show up in that way, right? This could also indicate being misled by somebody who's just morally compromised right now, or surrounding yourself by people who are just giving really lousy advice. Because this is you, this is your energy here. So it's really better just tap into your own intuition. What is your belly telling you, and walk your own path? You know, do your Aquarius self. What is the challenge here, though, is the 10 of Wands. But the 10 of Wands is in reverse here. So which is about taking a break and lightening up and finally saying no, but this is showing up as your challenge right now. If you're having a hard time just lightening up, even if you feel like you need to do it, doing a lot of thinking here. Ooh, we have a King of Wands in reverse coming into this. This King of Wands in reverse can be very much somebody who just doesn't feel ready for the relationship, right? Maybe in the same way as you, or somebody who's just very weak, right? Or there could be issues with intimacy. Like maybe somebody doesn't want to have one, doesn't want to be intimate, can't be intimate, you know, because this could also, King of Wands in reverse can also indicate some sort of like sexual problems, right? Like, you know, some sort of like erectile dysfunction, or, you know, anything, really anything like that. It could certainly be that. And that's causing a lot of strain in the relationship. You know, for some of you, if you're trying to get pregnant, maybe there's an issue going on here, you know, where, you know, you wanted to be together and get pregnant, right? That was the expectation, but it's not happening and it's stressing you out, right? And that could just be a lot of stress within the relationship, or just something that was expected isn't there's, it's not happening for some of you. Okay. But that King of Wands energy does mean that, could even mean like a bully energy, right? Somebody who's just very weak. But I see you sitting back and trying to get perspective here as the basis of the situation and going in a different direction. Wow. So the Four of Swords is I think a very healthy energy, right? Because it's taking a time out and step back for perspective, right? Talk to a good friend, talk to a family member, talk to a therapist, do your own shadow work, whatever it is. You're doing some good work on yourself. You're trying to figure out a better strategy for moving forward regarding the situation. And you realize in the situation is with the Fool is like, if we're going to save this, we have to do things differently, or we just need to go on our own paths. because this could equally indicate a new relationship or a new start and doing things differently within the current one. Or what does the Fool not mean? The same old stuff, right? Because it's a Uranus energy. Oh, we got the Sun. The Sun is all about the advice here. Aquarius is grow a beautiful relationship. Period. Don't let anything get in the way. Now, in numerology, this does have to do with the wheel, right? And the wheel is about fate, a turning point, needing to take a chance, right? And needing to reconcile something. So a lot of you are going to be in that space of, if not reconciliation, just recognizing that something needs to be reconciled. It's like, look, this is the way it is. We can't do anything about it now, right? Two spaces out of the tooth, whatever it is, right? That kind of thing. So the energy that you're dealing with is High Priestess. The High Priestess is very secretive. It is. It's holding secrets. They're holding part of their life a secret. So, and that may be making you feel very uncomfortable. You know, it could be. Numerology, this has to do with the justice and judgment. So really like talking about what's fair is one's emotional needs being met, trying to reconcile the situation of what's going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're keeping secrets, that they have like a whole other life with somebody else. It could be that, it could be, but it doesn't have to be that dramatic. It really could be them just withholding their feelings. And a lot of it could be because they're in the process of trying to distill how they feel about the relationship, about their emotional needs being met and all of that. Okay, your psychological block, the Ace of Swords. And this is getting over past obstacles and getting what you want. And this is showing up as your psychological challenge, this block. And because the swords are truth and communication, you may be having a hard time tapping into like what needs to be said exactly. But it does look like there's got to be some sort of communication about disappointment, disillusionment, feeling let down, you know? And that this feeling let down is can actually push you to make a decision about this particular relationship. We have the Page of Cups in the near future, which is good news, right? Being delivered to you. Good Page of Cups can have to do with, first of all, a new partner. And if there is somebody new between the Fool energy and the Page of Cups, you know, if your partner met somebody new, obviously there's going to be this energy of disappointment and feeling let down. You may have met somebody new and you opened yourself up to that energy because of the disappointment and the lack of follow through that you experienced in the relationship, right? I mean, these are the different ways that it could manifest. Clarifying that, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. So it's like somebody didn't show up. The Six of Pentacles is very like, I have your back, you have mine. We're here to help each other out. Six of Pentacles is very much like a family, property, generosity, and support kind of thing, right? It's like when you're family with somebody, it's like, I got you, my friend, you know, and that's it. But the Seven of Swords is a very dishonest energy. It's a very selfish energy, very self-absorbed, doesn't understand healthy boundaries. And that's being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. So some sort of dishonesty, right, within the relationship, within the marriage. It could be having to do with money. It could also have to do with, maybe someone wasn't honest about wanting or not wanting children, or there's some sort of shady situation going on around sex, around this energy. These are the different ways that it could manifest for sure, but there was dishonesty going on around that for sure. And then the World energy is all about lights. Come on, lesson learned, lesson learned. Absolutely. Now you're just very ready for some happiness, something fulfilling, something very loving, clarifying that. We have the Tower. Lesson learned. I'm done here. Could not be more direct than that. Guys, you saw me pull the cards. This is it. This is not your reading. It's not your reading. Don't try to make it fit. Lesson learned. Let's pull some more. So this is the thing. the Six of Wands and the Queen of Cups, this is a very beautiful conversation about what you need to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in something. But this lesson learned in the world is bringing down this whole situation, and you realizing not only, it's like, the thing is, there's this deepening of an energy. It does feel like for some of you with somebody new, the Queen of Cups, right? Could absolutely be that, right? Because this is an energy of falling in love, but it could also be an energy of deepening of love. But when we have the Tower, unless, and this is a little caveat, which is why I wanted to pull a couple of extra cards, unless the lesson learned is just involved in the situation, maybe it's yours, the lesson you learned, the lesson that your partner learned, and they're doing a complete turnaround. Because there's got to be this, and the Tower is very much a release, and the solar eclipse is all about a release. It's understanding, I cannot be like this anymore. If you're not with somebody who's open to that, then I see you meeting somebody else and developing a really nice energy here, falling in love with somebody else, this Queen of Cups energy. If you're with somebody who's emotionally open, this Tower could be them making huge, significant changes in themselves, or you doing that. We can have internal Tower moments. We can. The Tower is nothing more than Mars, and Mars throws up the red flags for us when we are not living in our truth, when we're acting in a way that's discordant with what we're supposed to be doing in our life, whether it's allowing ourselves to stay in that situation, in that relationship, in that job, but it can even be within ourselves. Where is our self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviors hanging out? You understand? And because we have Uranus in your fourth house, a lot of you are going to be doing a lot of deep, deep reflection of who you really are in private when you're just alone with yourself. And how does that spider out into the rest of your life? So a lot of you are going to be making very deep changes within yourself, or the person that you are having, that you're involved with, will be creating deep changes within themselves. And that will lead to a very deep conversation where there's a lot of a deepening of connection and communication, right? Which ends up leading to this Queen of Cups energy, which is very exercising a very high emotional level, emotional intelligence, not afraid of intimacy, all of that stuff, right? Just really appreciating the love. So it depends on what end of the spectrum that you're falling on, right? But a lot of you, I mean, the lesson could just be like, I realized what I've been doing in relationship. That's good, that's bad, whatever. And now I'm just gonna like move forward in a way that speaks to me in a more authentic way, whether it's with this person or with somebody new. It obviously depends on what else you have going on in your chart. These are general messages, but many of you may be experiencing energies that are reflective of that. So let's pull a couple of cards for those of you who are single. Aquarius going to be meeting anybody new? Aquarius going to be meeting anybody new? Me and this is some card. Meeting with this. Two of Cups, I'd say yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Page of Wands. Ooh, lovely. Okay. Uh-oh. Listen, you're going to meet somebody, but you're not going to be able to grow with them right away. There's going to be something, some sort of vibe about them where you might not want to grow with them because some of you are just focusing on your money, to be honest. Right? I mean, there might be, this person might be partying a lot, or they might just not be very supportive, to the point of where you're going to be able to grow something. Because we have the Page of Wands coupled with that, this could be very much like a playboy energy kind of thing, playgirl energy. You might be doing that, but I do see you sort of meeting somebody new. But then we have the Page of Pentacles, which could certainly indicate you just being very focused on work right now. And then we have the Queen of Wands. You're all about stepping into your power. It's necessary to create the relationship that you want. You're very aware of that. We have the High Priestess energy. Some of you may be thinking about getting into some sort of secret affair right now that can happen with the high priestess, that's paired up with the Queen of Wands, and you're just, I'm fine with it, right? I mean, that could be kind of your mentality as well. The high priestess obviously can also indicate being single, right, at the moment, which obviously you would be if you're clicking onto this portion of the reading. And then we have the 9 of coins. You're single, you're focusing on your work, you're focusing on your coin, you're focusing on your accomplishments, your independent endeavors. But what's going to happen here is as you're working on yourself and as you're working on your stuff and your independent endeavors, you're going to finally meet a connection that's going to be really, really healthy after you do the solid work on yourself, because 9 is the number of productivity. So you're very focused on being productive. But I do see some of you meeting somebody who is a little bit of a player energy, right? And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is just like Aquarius. Honestly, you're just going to be taking care of you and doing you. The Queen of Pentacles is you taking care of your body, you taking care of your finances. That's it. I mean, that's just really what you're about. You're becoming the best version of yourself right now. If you are single right now, you know, the beginning of December of 2021, you're focusing a lot on where it is that you want to go in your life, right? And we could see what ends up happening, you know, as the month progresses. But for now, this is what it looks like. Somebody coming in, if you're feeling very hopeful about it, look at it a little more closely, right? Is this person maybe a gossip monger, or they may party too much, or they just don't know how to be supportive in a relationship? And you're going to be recognizing this, and you're just going to be like, oh, sit over there. I don't have time for you. That's okay. Look, it's only a week. See what comes up next week and see whose energy we get. All right, those of you in separation, let's see what's happening. I'm going to pull our twin flame and separation cards. And we'll pull Balance Time Wellness and a couple of tarots real quick. I still see your smiling face in my mind's eye. I knew you were right, but couldn't admit it to myself or you. I didn't realize I loved you until it was too late. I'm so sorry. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego, self-indulgent, focus on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation, acts, breakup, separation, stopping the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. Oof, this seems to be, it looks like this was a painful situation. The Moon, disappointment, disillusionment. There was a lot of disappointment here, right? So feeling let down, right? Feeling vulnerable, emotional crisis. So the strength energy, on the one hand, it does indicate that there is energy available for you guys to get past a difficult time period if you guys are in separation. But the little caveat is there has to be mutual balance. It does seem like somebody needs their ego stroked here. Does seem like that. And then we have, I didn't realize I loved you until it was too late. I'm so sorry. We have breakup, separation, abandonment. But then we have the Ace of Swords, which is about getting over past obstacles and getting what you want, thus becoming things. 3 of Cups. 3 is the energy of, 3 is the number of healing and creativity. Magician is having a really great conversation and having a deeper understanding of what's necessary to make this work. Well, there we go. I mean, I honestly see this, what if you're resonating with this energy coming back around. If there was some sort of like fear of intimacy kind of thing, and you know, you're all about focusing on yourself and doing some solid work, you guys ended up breaking up, having the conversation about disappointment. Strength, Ace of Swords, 3 of Cups, and the Magician would indicate that you guys are going to be having a very deep conversation about possibly getting back together. That's what I'm seeing here in the cards, my friends. So good luck to you if that's you. Thank you so much for joining me, Aquarius. Have an awesome week. Happy solar eclipse. I'll see you guys next time. You guys take care. Bye-bye.